What up? Yeah, it looks like my mic's working. I'm not really gonna wait for people to come in because it's like almost 8 o'clock in the morning. No one's probably gonna show up. So I just grabbed some coffee real quick, and I'm just gonna give you guys an update on the SRT because I didn't really have a whole lot of time to make a video this week and edit it and do everything like that because I've been trying to fix the darn thing. So I'll try to give you guys an update as soon as, or a walkthrough from where we were. 2 people actually showed up. If anybody is in here, though, tell me if my microphone is working. Just let me know. Yeah, because I don't want to do a whole video and then my microphone not work because that would suck. I wonder, I could probably pull it up and just listen to it myself, right? Let me see if I can do that. Of course, that probably won't work. Oh, yeah, there it is. Okay, let me see if it's got volume. Of course. Yep, it is working. Yeah, look at that. All right. Hey, what's up, man? All right. So I think the last place we left off on my video with the SRT is the idle was going crazy. And I wanted to get that fixed before we finished tuning it. So went ahead and bought a TPS sensor OEM and a idle air control valve OEM and put both of them on, and they didn't do anything. So of course I was slightly pissed and a little frustrated because I didn't know what the heck was going on. I seem to remember briefly that the change in the idle came with the tune, but not instantly. You know, so I just said, you know what, let me go back to my old tune, the one that he just previously sent me, and just see what happens. As soon as I uploaded the damn tune, it idled perfectly. So I was like, okay, let's go drive it. Let's run it around, because usually the idle happened later on with the other tune. It didn't happen right when you started it up. So drove it around, wadded it a couple times, half the day. And I was like, all right, it's perfect. Said, now let me throw the other tune back in and see if it does it immediately. So I threw the other tune back in, the newest tune, and as soon as I cranked it up, the idle was fucked. And I was like, you've got to be kidding me. So unfortunately, I don't know what happened. You know, I didn't really ask because both the tuner and Johnny have been doing a lot of extra work on this car. They didn't really ask for. You know, and troubleshooting stuff when, you know, you just had one thing in mind is tough. So I appreciate everything that they've done for me. So it was the tune. So anyway, Nigel sent me another tune and went out, and the new tune idled fine. And then we turned the boost up to 24, 22. Anyway, whatever it is, it was 2 more pounds. I think we were around 21 or 22. And he said, go ahead and turn it up 2 more pounds. Use the same file. Ran great. And I was like, all right, cool. So it was running great. And then after a couple pulls, like when it got hot, it started sputtering a little bit. Now, not all the time, but just every once in a while, you get a little sputter, like just a little bit, like ignition. And I'm like, well, I've replaced the wires, I've replaced the spark plugs, I've got them gapped to 28. What the heck? And the tuner was like, well, if it's getting hot and it's only doing what's hot, it might be the coil pack because it's right there, and a lot of people burn those things up. And he's like, if you haven't replaced that, it might be that. And I was like, well, that's the one thing I haven't replaced, so let me replace that. So anyway, I go get the coil pack, and as I'm like, well, you know what, if it only does it when it warms up, let me go ahead and get the tuning out of the way. I can go out there, run out to my spot, do a quick pull or 2 or whatever, and you know, I'll be able to get the logs for Nigel, so I can at least have it tuned while I'm waiting on the distributor or the coil pack to come in. Well, so I go out to do the tunes, and you know, I hit the first run. I'm like, oh yeah, scalded dog. I was like, this thing's running great. And I go to turn around and do the turn on my GoPro so I can get my gauges, and the shift and the shifter, when I went to put it in reverse, it was like super soft, you know, because people that have the Hurst shifters or any transmission in general, you can feel it kind of clunk into the gear. Like it gives a good notchy feeling when it goes into the gear. It's just not like nothing's there. And I was like, oh shit, nothing's there. Are you kidding me? But when I let on the clutch, it was in gear, so it just didn't make the clunk going into gear. And I was like, okay, let me try some other gear. First gear was fine. Put it in a second, sloppy as shit. And I was like, oh, great. So it seemed like all the lower gears, like 2, 4, and reverse, were just like, they didn't make any kind of good firm feeling going into the gear. And I'm just like, this is stupid. And the only thing I can think of is when I put in that damn shifter, the Hurst shifter, the throw or the main shaft on it was so low that it was pushing the linkage like almost into the floor, even though I had spacers in there. I guess I didn't have enough spacers. I don't know. I'm thinking maybe it wore out the bushing. So I was like, all right, great. So I got to take off this damn, I made it home. It was fine. But anyway, so I just figured it was the bushings or I wore through them or whatever. So I just ordered some solid machined billet bushings that I found through Nigel, which is pretty cool. TFE Fabrication, I think, makes them. So I'm ordering this thing and I'm pulling off the center console, and everything looks okay. And I'm like, oh, fuck, what the heck is going on here? But the more I played with it, I got a video that I'll probably put into a later video. But when you push the shifter back in second, the gear shifter would almost come back to the seat. Actually, I could touch the seat. When I was in first gear and then second gear, you could still kind of pull on it. I was like, great, that's the linkage, because I checked the bushings. They're all good. Transmission side, shifter side, they were all good. And I'm looking at the linkage, the one from the main shaft, the one that controls, I think when you move the shifter back and forth, it's the one on the passenger side. I mean, it was like this. It's supposed to be, the shaft comes down into the linkage and the linkage goes in and out. Well, it was pushing down on it like this because of how long it was. And that's why you need those spacers in the shifter. Well, I figured, okay, maybe since it's been bent like that, it broke the linkage or stretched the linkage or something. So I was like, son of a bitch. I was like, and I switched shifters too. I took out the Hurst shifter. I'm like, you know what? Screw this thing. I'm done with the spacers and all the bullshit. I didn't really even like the shifter anyway. I missed more gears with the damn Hurst shifter than I did with the factory shifter anyway. So I had no problems with the factory shifter. I just pulled it out of your car, Jeremy. I blame you. But no, anyway, I like the standard shifter, factory shifter just fine. The whole idea was all these problems were still there when I put the factory shifter back in. So I put the factory shifter back in. It was able to make it into the gears a little bit more, but it still wasn't making that nice clunk. And I was like, what the heck is going on here? So I figured at that point it was the shifter cables. They were stretched, because I looked at the top part. I don't even know what you call them, that moves the plates on top of the transmission. And I put a GoPro on it and I was like yelling out, first gear, second gear, third gear. And I rewatched the video and it looked like they were all manipulating correctly. And I was like, what in the heck's going on here? So, Johnny's like, hey, make sure you got the clips that hold the linkage in on the shifter side and the transmission side. And I was like, oh yeah, they're good. And I was like, oh wait, shit, I didn't check the transmission side. Let me look. And I go there and they were good. I'm looking at the clips on the transmission side and they were in there, and I go to get something else like a wrench just to kind of tap on them a little bit more. And as I'm doing that, I look down in the transmission and there's a fucking bolt laying on my transmission, just chilling, like a big ass bolt. And I'm like, what the fuck is that for? And I pick it up and I don't recognize this bolt because it's pretty thick. And I'm looking on the top of the transmission and I see like a spot on the back of the transmission where there's a spot for a bolt, but I'm like, there's nothing there. So I don't know why this bolt would be there. Thanks, man. Thanks, Troy. And I catch it just barely, because this is nighttime at this point, because I just wanted to run out and just keep checking stuff, and it's like 9:39 and I'm looking, and right through the cables, all right, there's a freaking bolt that holds the whole damn assembly on. And there's only 2 of them that holds the shifter cable assembly onto the transmission, and that bolt was completely missing out of the freaking transmission, like shifter cable assembly on the transmission. And I was like, oh, are you freaking kidding me? How the bolt was still just chilling on top of the transmission, I don't know, because it was like at the backside about to fall out. So I'm like, please let this be this problem. So anyway, it was a pain in the butt to get to that because the shifter cables are like right on top of this bolt. It's so tight in there. Anyway, I dropped a wrench like 6 times, busted my knuckles, but I ended up getting both of those bolts tightened and it freaking fixed the problem. Thank God. So I was just so happy. I could almost cry at that point because I've been through so much crap trying to get to this point to where I could just finally get the last tune on this car. And which is where we were, by the way. I mean, I only need a couple more pounds of boost and it's going to be where it should be for this setup. So put the bolts back in, hopped in the car, and the damn thing goes through the gears like it hadn't gone through the gears in a long time. And it makes sense because I noticed it slowly getting worse. It was weird. It was like my Hurst shifter was really tight at first. And then over time, I just noticed that it was getting a little soft. It was weird. It was really hard to describe, even though it went through all the gears. It was just certain parts of it were getting soft. And it makes complete sense now. The linkage was completely freaking half off. And here's the other thing. If y'all have been following me, what the fuck, man? Everything in this car is loose. It's like every single freaking bolt that we try to go do as anything with the engine is like half-assed. Like, how do you not tighten bolts down? It makes me just want to take my entire damn engine out of the car and just redo it. But I'm just gonna take it a step at a time at this point. I don't know. Anyway, I'm just happy that that's fixed. So, yeah, because the other bolt was loose too. It was basically hand tight by the time I got to it. So there was 2 main bolts that hold the linkage on, and I had tightened the shit out of both of them. They were both loose. One was completely off. So anyway, that's fixed. So I don't have to spend $300 on shifter cables, thank goodness. So I got to return those. Back to the car itself, though, about the little hesitation problem. So when I got the distributor, when I was taking the coil pack off, I noticed when on plug number 4, wire number 4, the damn arm was cracked, like just barely. Like you wouldn't notice it just looking at your engine. But when I actually took it off and I just kind of glanced at it, I was like, oh shit, there's a big crack right there in the freaking arm that holds the plug wire on. I was like, that's probably doing something. So put on the freaking coil pack and it fucking runs great. So I'm hoping today, maybe sometime my lunch break or something, I can go do a run and get a solid log that's just great. I will say this, that when he told me to use the same log and turn up the boost another 2 pounds, which I think would be putting me close to 25 or 26, it broke traction in 3rd gear. So it's pretty nasty now. Pretty much, and it was, I mean, when I think about it, it was like, I gotta be going like 70 miles an hour and it's breaking traction. So it's getting to the point where it's not really a little bit scary because it's, front wheel drive. It's not like it's going to get loose on you, but I'm going to need more tires now. So the BBS wheels are going to be for sale here pretty soon, I guess. And I'm just going to need more tire up front because that's the one thing I didn't want to do was spin in 3rd. And I don't want to turn the boost down. 2nd, I've got the boost down to like 15, 16 pounds, and I can pretty much hold traction just to get me out of the hole if I need to. But now that I'm spinning in 3rd gear, gonna have to get more tire. So anyway, I just want to give you that update. Everything is good now, but that's kind of where we've gone from the injectors to the idle to replacing all this crap to now the shifter, which y'all didn't even know about. Got through all that, and then the sputtering and got through all that. So as of right now, she's running good, and hopefully she will stay that way for a long time. I'm going to check out some comments now, but I just wanted to get that out, guys. I can't even believe it's been 13 minutes. Do you have any links for a T850 Marquise? I haven't really seen any, but man, if you're on Facebook, the best place is on Facebook Marketplace. Yeah, you should get a ride in it now, man. It's cool. It's a good time. Troy, do I ever get a gander at Chris Greenup's channel? His name doesn't sound familiar, so I don't know if he's based around SRT4s or not. I will have some content coming on the Stinger, and for those of you guys that don't know or didn't see the video, I did get rid of the Mazda and ended up getting a Stinger GT2 in micro blue, which the thing is awesome, and I knew it would be. So there will be some content coming on that too. It's going to be a terrible picture. Well, wait, it might actually focus. Hey, look at that. It's a beautiful car. I looked at it before I got the Hellcat. Now it makes perfect sense because it's decent on gas. It's not loud. It's great for a daily driver. I don't have to wake up the neighborhood when I'm driving and stuff like that. So, um, oh, if he's doing major traction mods, yeah, I might need to check out his channel. But anyway, yes, that car is also very tunable, which is cool. So, I've got some stuff coming for it. So I'll make another video on that. So, I've got 2 cars now for the channel, so it'll be pretty cool. Anyway, I just want to give you that update, and I might just look over the comments and talk to you guys for a minute. But I'll be heading out here soon. I got to start working. Can you ask your neighbor if you do? Oh yeah, man, he's gone. I mean, I could probably still get a hold of him in a roundabout way because he's, the ex-husband of one of my coworkers, and they still drop off kids together and stuff like that. If you really, really need to, just Facebook message me and we'll figure it out. But anyway, I'm about to head out, guys. If you got any questions for me or anything like that, hit me up. I'm on Instagram, same as my YouTube channel. So if you want to message me or whatever, or follow me there, because I usually do more updates, pictures, and stuff like that on the SRT on Instagram. But anyway, if y'all don't have any more questions, I'll catch you on the next actual video, which I'm going to hope is this weekend. But I'm going to the Wells car show this weekend. I might make a little video about that because there's a lot of cool cars there. But I'm actually going to be working it, driving a golf cart back and forth to take people to their car. I'm going to have pretty much all my cars out there. I don't think I'm going to bring the Stinger because it's kind of like a classic car show. But I'll probably bring the Neon because it's a Dodge dealership. So I'll bring the Neon, and I'm going to bring my classic wagon too. So anyway, later. Hey Troy, is his channel just his name or something? You just type in Chris Greenup, or does he have an actual name for his channel? Oh man. Anyway, I'll look him up. Yeah, it's his name. All right, guys. Thanks for tuning in, and stay tuned. You got any questions? Let me know. Have a great day. Can't click the end button.